So you've got a huge goal. Maybe it's building who's the first mutant to that off. That story, tell yourself, that's your know for self. And the next few minutes, you don't just get what you want in life truth. You tend to get what you believe you are.
Let's be clear. This self-concept thing isn't some fluffy, abstract idea. It's the invisible script running your entire life. It's the bundle of beliefs you hold about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve. And these beliefs are so deeply embedded that they feel like facts. You know the ones. I'm a procrastinator. I'm terrible with money. Or I'm just not a natural leader. Think of your self-concept like a thermostat for your reality. If your thermostat is set to 70 degrees, the second the room gets hotter, the AC kicks on. If it gets colder, the heat clicks on. It works 24/7 to keep the room at its programmed setting. Your mind does the exact same thing. If your self-concept is set to, I'm someone who earns $50,000 a year, the moment a huge opportunity comes along that could push you to $100,000, your internal air conditioner starts blasting. Doubt, fear, and self-sabotage show up to cool things down and get you back to who you believe you are. Now, on the flip side, if you lose your job, you'll hustle with a surprising level of focus to get back to that $50,000 mark, because that's your identity's set point. The problem? Most of us never consciously choose our setting. It was shaped for us by childhood experiences, throwaway comments from others, and past failures we took as life sentences. This unconscious programming creates a glass ceiling on your potential, and it's so sneaky because you're the one holding it over your own head. So, why is fixing this the most important work you can do? Because as long as your self-concept doesn't align with your goals, you're driving with one foot on the gas and one foot slammed on the brake. You can hustle, learn every strategy, and wake up at 5 a.m. to grind, but you'll keep getting yanked back to the reality that matches your internal story. Let's talk about Alex. Alex wants to start an online coaching business. They're smart, certified, and genuinely want to help people. They pour hours into creating content, building a website, and perfecting their program. But they have a deep down belief that says, I'm not a salesperson. I'm too introverted to put myself out there. What do you think happens? When it's time to actually promote the business, Alex freezes. They write a great social media post, but never hit publish. They get an email from a potential client, but wait so long to reply that the person moves on. They tell themselves, I need one more certification, or it's just not perfect yet. In truth, their behavior is a perfect match for their self-concept. The issue isn't their work ethic, it's their identity. This is a classic case of cognitive dissonance. When your actions, building a business, clash with your beliefs. I'm not a business person. Your brain sounds an alarm. And what's often the easiest way to shut that alarm off? Not to change the deep-seated belief, but to stop the action. You self-sabotage because on a subconscious level, it feels safer to fail and confirm your identity than to succeed and shatter it. So, how do we fix the thermostat? It's not about chanting affirmations in the mirror and hoping for the best. It's about consciously building a new identity from the ground up. The process is simple. Not easy, but simple. It comes down to 3 steps: audit, define, and prove. First things first, you can't change a script you can't read. You have to get brutally honest about the stories you're telling yourself. For the next week, I want you to be a detective of your own thoughts. Here's your mission. Grab a journal And at the end of each day, answer two questions. First, what was my biggest goal or challenge today? Second, what I am or I am not statements popped into my head when I faced it. When you thought about speaking up in that meeting, did your mind whisper, I'm not articulate enough? When you looked in the mirror, did it mutter, I'm just not disciplined? Write these down without judgment. These are your invisible scripts. This is the code that's been running your life. The simple act of noticing creates a tiny bit of space. It shows you that you are not the thought. You are the one observing it. Define the new identity. Once you've identified the old crusty story, it's time to write a new one. But we have to be specific and action-oriented. The trick is to shift from thinking about the goal to thinking about the identity. Instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Ask, who is the person that could achieve that with ease? Let's go back to Alex. The old identity is, I'm an introvert who's bad at sales. The new identity isn't, I am a master salesperson. That's not believable yet. A better one is, I am a thoughtful coach who connects with people authentically. I build trust by listening, and I share what I offer with confidence because I know it has value. See the difference? It's not about becoming a totally different person. It's about defining a version of yourself that can succeed on your own terms. For your own goal, write down your new identity. If you want to get fit, your identity isn't I want to lose 20 pounds. It's I am the type of person who stays active and nourishes my body. This becomes your new North Star. Prove it with small wins. Okay, this is the most important part, so listen closely. You do not think your way into a new identity. You act your way into it. Beliefs aren't built with wishes. They're built with evidence. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to become. Your job is to start casting votes for your new identity. The key is to start so small that it's almost laughable. You want the action to be so easy, you can't say no. You're not trying to achieve the entire goal. You're just trying to prove the new identity to yourself. If your new identity is, I'm a consistent person, your small win isn't a 2-hour gym session. It's putting on your workout clothes. That's it. That's the vote. You just proved, on a micro level, that you're someone who shows up. For Alex, the small win isn't closing a huge client. It's sending one DM to someone, not to sell, but just to offer a helpful comment. That single action is evidence that contradicts the old story of, I can't put myself out there. Transformation doesn't happen with a roar. It happens with a whisper, repeated daily. Each tiny win is a brick. Enough bricks build a belief, and that belief builds a new identity. You call to action. This process of rewriting your inner story is the real work behind any lasting success. So, I have a question for you. What is one limiting belief, one part of your old self-concept that you are ready to let go of, starting today? Drop it in the comments below. The act of declaring it is a powerful first step in loosening its grip on you. So, in conclusion, the story you tell yourself about who you are can be a powerful force. While external challenges are real, the limits we place on ourselves are often the most restrictive, because they can stop us before we even start. But these beliefs about yourself are not life sentences. Your self-concept isn't something you find. It's something you build. It starts with auditing the old stories. It continues by defining the person you intend to become. And most importantly, it becomes real when you prove that new identity to yourself with small, consistent, undeniable actions. You don't need to wait for a tidal wave of confidence to get started. Confidence and action are in a dance. Sometimes action leads and confidence follows. Your job is just to take the first step. Start casting votes for your future self today, one tiny action at a time, because the person you believe you are is the person you will become. The only ceiling that truly matters is the one you build for yourself, and you have the power to shatter it. See you in the next one.